Hello everyone. So welcome to day 7 for Python for beginners. In the last session, we discussed about lists and dictionaries. So how many of you have taken up the examples and done some coding with the lists and examples? Would you confirm? Please give me a thumbs up if you have done it. So what exactly you did? Would you like to share something, what you did? Any Google Colab or your local source code that you want to share?
So actually, I have joined through phone today, so I can't show the code.
Okay. But did you do the examples? Did you do some coding?
Yes, I also tried the factorial one.
Okay, you did the factorial one, and there was no challenge, right?
Yes, sir.
How about Fibonacci series? Did you do that?
Yes, sir, I tried it.
You tried that too. Okay, excellent. Hi, Prachi. Hello. So, all right. So let's. We are just looking through some of the previous slides. So I hope. Have you done the recursive one? Recursion. Is it clear to you guys? Is recursion clear? We did this. Okay. Prachi, you have been absent in last two classes, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
I was absent.
have you been able to look through the slides and the recording?
सर अभी नहीं कर पाई मैं कल से स्टार्ट करूंगी सर जो भी मेरा छूट गया है मैं अपना प्रॉपर कंप्लीट करूंगी बिकॉज ब्रदर का एग्जाम था तो
Yes,
उसकी वजह से थोड़ा बिजी थी बस
no issues. I hope that is done. So actually we covered last two classes, a lot of things we have covered. I
यस
hope
सर
you might be already familiar with some of these things, but mainly like I think loops, you were there in the loops class, right? You were there
यस सर यस सर आई वाज देयर
in this one, you were there, right? So Fibonacci
यस
series and factorial you did. Then
यस
after that, we did this session, day 6, right? So we
यस
had the list comprehensions. It was done yesterday. Okay.
ओके
So we covered this list comprehensions, and we did, some examples of the same. Uh,
ओके
you will find in the recording also some of the live examples we had taken up. We looked into functions, then we looked into recursive functions. Okay, factorial, how to recursive factorial computation in Python. Okay, we saw its code. We looked at the Fibonacci series also for the recursive functions. Okay,
यस
so just do these exercises. This is important because these are some key concepts, right? So
यस सर
since you are doing uh, functions, so recursive functions is a very important concept we should understand, because once we know these concepts, uh, see, writing a program, anybody can write the program, but whether it is efficient programming, that is important, right? So we should use the selective concepts, okay, as per the need of the problem. Okay, so the problem statement that we have, according to the problem statement, we should provide a solution, right? And the solution may be like maybe the same job can be done multiple ways, and different people may have different approach to solve the same problem, as long as we are getting the result. So first thing is getting the result. Second thing is we should obtain the result in an efficient manner. And how you can do this decision making, which concept you should be applying once you know about them, right? So for example, a function is, writing a function is one thing, but if you know where to utilize the recursive function, where not, then you will be able to accordingly pick up and make the right decisions as per the right, different problems that you have at next is we looked at the how to pass the parameters in the function. So there are four ways: positional arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, and variable length arguments. uh, uh, Janvi, would you like to explain what are the keyword arguments? What is the difference in positional and keyword arguments?
What, sir?
Janvi, would you like to explain what is the difference in positional arguments and keyword arguments? We discussed about this yesterday, and it is important. Again and again, I am iterating. We must be going through these concepts. We must understand them. If you have not looked at the slides, go through these slides again. So positional arguments, Prachi, do you have an understanding of what is the positional arguments? And
Sir, I know the concept. I know the concept, but right now my
no problem.
I
Okay.
have to recall them.
No
I
issues. So
clear.
quickly
I
I'll go through it. So positional
Sure, sir.
arguments. So that's
Sir,
what we discussed
sir,
yesterday.
I will go through all the PPTs and recordings. If any issue, then I will ask you, sir. Because
Okay.
right now, sir, I have an issue in list programs, list comprehension programs, some list comprehension programs, but I have to do again to read the concepts, and after that I will ask you the questions.
Do that because
Sure, sir.
we can have a doubt class next week.
Sure, sir.
So we can discuss
I
there.
will I will try
The
ki
important.
I
Hmm. Go ahead.
sure, sir.
All right. So we discussed about the positional arguments. We discussed about keyword arguments. So I'll just take it up once again for everyone's benefit. So positional arguments are, you are specifying the same in the same order the arguments. For example, here there are two arguments we are passing in this function, name and age, and we are passing two values, Alice and 30. So we know the first argument goes to name and second one goes to age, right? So this is known as positional arguments. If I'm specifying, when I'm calling a method, I'm if I'm specifying the name of the attribute, name of the argument, when I'm giving the value along with it, then it doesn't matter in what order I'm writing. So as you can see here, name is first argument and age is second, but I'm passing here age before the name, right? But still, because I'm specifying the name, so now the Python will be able to do the mapping of age to age and name to name. So there is no issue even if you give these arguments once you're specifying the keywords. Okay, key value as a key value pair you're specifying over here. So and then in that case it will do the relevant mapping of the argument. So this one is basically this one, right? So name goes here and age goes here. Okay, so these are the keyword arguments. Then we have something known as default argument. So sometimes some of the values are like that. If user is not giving as input, then we may assume that, for example, somebody is uh, giving up his address, okay, and you are in the same country, right? So we would assume the country we are in, majority of the people are, so by default that is the country is being referred if the country is not mentioned, right? So then country may be a default parameter in such a case, right? So depending on different situations, right? So default arguments are the pre-assigned values, okay, and we can omit them when we are calling the function. So if suppose here I'm having, we see the example for the same. So here let's say we are having uh, def greet is a method, and in this method we are calling Alice, and I'm not passing the second parameter, then age 25 by default will be taken. So this is the default argument. Okay, and if we are doing greet Bob 40, here I'm passing the value, then for this 40 will override the value of age. So 25 will not be considered, 40 will be considered in this case. So when it prints the outcome of this function greet, this statement greet Bob 40, it is going to print hello Bob, you are a 40 years old. Okay. In the first one, it will print hello Alice, you are 25 years old. 25 we are not specified, but here because it is a default argument, so it will be automatically considered. Then in the default arguments, okay, after default arguments comes a variable length argument. So uh, sometimes we really don't know how many values will be supplied. It can be one value, it can be two values, it can be 10 values as input, right? So if I say, for example, how many students in the class today, right? So if you have to pass on the names of all the students who are present, then there may be n number of students, right? And you really don't know how many students are going to be present every day, right? So in such cases, you can use the variable length arguments. So depending on how many values are being supplied, you accordingly do the processing of this data. So you need to hold this data and you have to pass this data to a function. So we in this also we have two types of arguments. One is positional variable length arguments, which we use a single asterisks and args, and second is known as arbitrary keyword arguments, where we specify the key values, okay, and then we use double asterisk over here, okay, with the variable name. I'll show you an example of the same. So understanding positional variable length arguments is uh, so you are specifying here in this case, so you are having def func my func, okay, asterisk args. So what this asterisk args means, it means when this function is being called my func, so 1 2 3 4 John 50, all these parameters are going into args, okay. And how it is passed, positional variable length arguments are defined using star args, and these are gathered as a tuple, okay. So all these parameters will be taken up as a tuple, okay, like this tuple args. If you do print args over here, so it is going to print args equals 1 2 3 4 5 6 within tuple, okay, within parenthesis, okay. So tuples are written using parenthesis, right? So that's how I'm passing from here these six parameters. All these six parameters will form a tuple, and then that will be available to you, okay. And this allows a function to accept any number of arguments. So really you don't have to worry, it may be one argument, it may be 100 arguments, it may be 1,000 arguments, doesn't matter. Whatever comes, it will be stored as a tuple. Next we get uh, so positional variable length arguments are also known as uh, non-keyworded variable length arguments, okay. So this is another way of doing it. So the same thing what we did star arg. So in this case we are taking one example, so where I'm passing three names, let's say Alice, Bob, and Charlie, and I'm having this greet function. I want to execute this function for each of the names that I receive in star names, okay. So this is the argument names. In the names I'm passing Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So three values I'm passing. So what will happen, it will form a tuple, and I can execute a for function over here for name in names. So whatever the names I have received, for each one of them it is going to execute one time. And here we are using an f string to print hello and the name of the name that we have received. So it is going to execute and it is going to print three times Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So let me show you one example for the same quickly. So let's see this greet.py. So we have this code already written. So def greet name, print f name, welcome to Zen Academy. And if I say over here Python, and we call it greet.py. So what it is doing, it is executing 3 times. This is the first case where we are just passing one parameter every time. So 3 times we have called greet, angel, greet, Janvi, greet, Shalini. Okay, and then we are passing this to greet over here, just a single parameter. Then we have an example of args. So let me show you args.py. So in this case, what we are doing is we are having a def myfunc and args we are supplying, and here we are supplying myfunc 1, 2, 3, 4, and John and 50. So we are passing these 6 parameters to the args, and let's see how it executes. So if I say Python args.py, and what do we see here? Code starts from here, not from here. So def function is defined, but it will not be executed unless it is called for. So it is being called here. So from here, the code will start. It will go inside. Okay. And here it is going to execute. This is just what we are doing. We are just simply printing whatever is received. So what we received, args is a tuple. Okay. This tuple has been received here in the function. There we are printing it. Okay. Then we have a Python list args. Let's see this. So what is happening? Let's see what's happening here. Let me go back to the slide first, and then we'll. Oh, you able to see, by the way, my coding window? Prachi, everyone?
No, the coding window is not showing. PPT windows is showing, sir.
You must tell me, even if you're not getting it. Actually, I just explained everything and it was not being presented. Let me just check.
Yes.
1 minute. I hope it is visible now.
Yes.
Right. So we are here. So what we just saw. So for example, so we have some of the programs here. So I was showing you this greet program. So let's say greet.py. And here in this greet.py, as you can see, we have a method. We have defined a function over here, greet, and we are having one single parameter name, and we are having print f string. We are having hello name, welcome to Zen Academy. So I'm calling it with value angel. So it is going to pass angel and print this for angel, this message. It is going to call it for Janvi, then it will say hello Janvi, welcome to Zen Academy. Hello Shalini, welcome to Zen Academy, and so on. So here if I execute this Python and I call it args greet.py, so we are getting hello Angel, welcome to Zen Academy. Okay. Hello Janvi, welcome to Zen Academy. Hello Shalini, welcome to Zen Academy. So we are getting it executed 3 times because I'm calling a method 3 times, and it's a very straight method. I hope no one is having any doubt about this. So let's look at the next method. So let's do this args one. So I will show you what is the args code. Get args.py. So in this method, we are having over here is the window not refreshing, right? One minute. Hold on. So, mm, all right. So, is it visible to you now? Give me thumbs up if everything is, if it's visible. Okay. So let's see the greet one you saw, right? So this one is clear. Any doubts on this particular program? If we run it, it is simply executing it 3 times, right?
Yes.
So this should not be a challenge. Let's see the next one. Arts.py. This one. Is this code clear to you? So we have this one. So we have one function def myfunc and asterisk args. So it means I can have any number of arguments over here. It does not have,
Yes, yes.
right? And
Yes, if new member is entered, then we don't need to write again and again. We just write the entries and it will give the output automatically. No need to
it will pass
write a
as a
specific.
tuple. It passes the values as a tuple.
Yes,
Yeah. So over here in this case, if we are executing this code, so let's see. So we will say Python and args.py. So the outcome is whatever the tuple we have passed on, so that is being printed over here, and we can do whatever we want to do with this. Then next example, let's see. So we have list args. So we will just see what is the code there. So this one is, in this one, what we are doing is we have a list. Okay. This list is being supplied if list to a function, right? So fruits is a list, apple, banana, cherry. Okay. These parameters are there. And then I'm supplying to it so we are supplying over here, 3 parameters. I mean, this list we are supplying, entire list we are supplying. So how it goes? So it goes as a list, of course. So food will take on this list and it will say for X in food, keeps on printing every one of them. So when I execute this code, Python list args, and it passes the list, and because I'm using a for loop there, so it keeps on printing all the 3 values, apple, banana, cherry, etc. Okay. Then we see one more case. Okay. And this one is cat list well args. So this code, def my function, food1, food2, food3. Now there are three parameters I'm taking. And here in the list, I have three values. So instead of passing the entire list, rather, I would like to send, I want to kind of take the values of the list, the elements of the list, and then pass them to the first value I want to pass to food1, second value I want to pass to food2, and third value I want to pass to food3. Okay. So what I'm doing is, from here, this value I want to send to food1. This value I'll be sending to food2. What I'm drawing, I hope you can see it. Do you see what I drawn just now?
So 6 2 3.
It looks like 6 to 3, but it's not 6 to 3 yet. Means I'm putting the arrows actually. So this value, apple is going into food1, banana will go to food2, and cherry will go to food3. So what we are doing, yeah, let's clear it all. So what we are trying to say, in this case, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And how it goes? Because there are three values and three parameters. But
Yes, sir.
we are
We are already mentioned
if we have put an asterisk over here, then it will take the values of the fruits.
values of, yes, sir.
Okay. And then these will be assigned to the parameters in the function.
So at that time we don't need to put the arguments, na, but just we need to write the values directly if we use args, asterisk args.
Yes, that so in that case, if you pass over here fruits and then accept it over there as the args, that will
Yes.
be accepted. Means that is usually like asterisk args will be in the case if there are more than one
So
parameter.
can you do one example, sir?
Yeah, we will just do it. Okay. It is, in fact, it is mentioned in the slides too. Let's me go to the slide first so everyone is aware of what we are talking about,
Sure.
and then we'll proceed. This is the one, right? So this one here we are passing three parameters and assigning it. Let's go next slide. This is the arbitrary argument, keyword argument. So what happens in the keyword arguments? We take double asterisk over here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then we put the double asterisk. So what we are having a list.
Value pairs.
Name is Alice, age is equal to 30, city equals New York. So three parameters I'm taking, and
Yes, sir.
I'm supplying them over here. So what it does, the the keyworded arguments, non-keyworded values, how did it go? As a tuple. Okay. But here this is sent as a dictionary. So here I'm passing a dictionary. Okay. Means these parameters will be passed as a dictionary in kwargs. Okay. So kwargs, if you print, it prints this dictionary key value pair. So it says name Alice, age 30, city New York. Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this example also we can see. Okay. And then this is keyworded variable length arguments. So now if I'm passing the variable length argument, so here I don't know how many parameters. Okay. So I'm having asterisk asterisk. So instead of kwarg, I'm taking info here. Okay. And two asterisk I'm placing before it. So what it makes is the keyword arguments. And here I'm passing few arguments. So name, Alice, age, this is, so it will be passed on over here. as a list, as a dictionary. So info will become a dictionary, and dictionary is what? A key value pair. Okay, so what I'm doing here for key value in info dot items, this is a way how to get the dictionary items. So info dot items, okay, for the items within. So this is one item, this is another item, this is a third item, right? So for each item in the info dictionary, for key and value pairs, so the value, the name of the key will go in key, and the name value of the pair will go into value. Okay, and I want to print the key and value through this f string. So we can see this example too. We'll just go back, and then comes passing lists and dictionaries as arguments. Okay, so which we just saw already. So we are passing a, suppose we have a list fruits, and where we have apple, banana, cherry, for example, and I'm passing it to this function in argument food. So what will happen? It will go as a list over here. Okay, for x in food, print x. Okay, so what it will do, it is going to print all these three elements. Okay, and passing dictionary values as arguments. So if I want to pass the dictionary values, so I can do, means not the complete dictionary but the values of the dictionary, just like we did in case of the positional arguments earlier. So here, name Alice, age 30, and if I put instead of here having asterisk asterisk info, if I do here asterisk asterisk info, it means just like the values we had sent earlier from the list, same way here I'm passing the values of this dictionary. So means first argument name, name equals Alice, kind of, right? And this will become age equals 30. So, and it is going to assign, so the value Alice will be assigned to name, and the value this 30 will be assigned into age. Okay, so these are few examples that we have taken, and this is passing list values as arguments. So if you have a list over here and you want to pass its values, so just like we did in the dictionary, in dictionary we put double asterisk. In case of the lists, you will be using a single asterisk over here. Okay, because yeah, here you are having already expanded parameters, food 1, food 2, food 3. Okay, so you put asterisk fruits, and this will be uh, expanding these values. So three values, and these will go, apple will go into food 1, banana will go into food 2, cherry will go into food 3. Okay, yeah, so this is what we did yesterday actually. Okay, so I'll quickly take these two examples. Okay, so we'll see passing the dictionary and the lists. Okay, and printing them. So we'll just go back to our coding window.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir, can we do it for 8 p.m. Or today for only for 8 p.m. till 8 p.m.
the class.
Yeah, only 8 p.m.
The,
Otherwise, it will
go to
be a
leave.
burden for me, sir. I will complete.
The classes are there, so you, tomorrow's break will be there, so you can go through. Okay, we have
हाँ
to,
सर आई कैन गो थ्रू बट सर ब्रदर के एग्जाम्स से तो थोड़ा सा सेशन मेरा मतलब मैं देख नहीं
I
पाई हूँ.
understand. You have to give some extra time now. Okay, cover it up. Okay, because we have to consider everyone also. So we don't want to delay others. So you look into it. If you have any queries, feel free to ask. Okay, you can leave the message in the group also, and we can address those.
श्योर सर.
Okay, yeah. And today's we are not having too much of the work. Pretty much what we are already doing, right? We will be having in today's agenda lists and tuples only. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so it's not too much of the work, but yeah, just basic methods are there. I want to cover those. So after this we will just do that. Okay, so let's quickly see. uh, Write this passing lists. Okay, so I'll create one code, passing list wells dot py.
Sir, your screen not visible. Coding screen, sir. Typing not visible, sir.
Okay, hold on. Which window it is? Okay, that is different, I think. Seems I'm typing in a different window. Options. I'll change the window. Now it should be visible. Okay, so so we have taken. So let's say def my function, and we are having food over here as the parameter. You may or may not provide the space. And here for x in food, I want to print x. Okay, and let's call this, what is my code will start from here, fruits equals, and we can pass the values apple, banana, cherry. Okay, and then I'm calling the function my function, and with the parameter fruits. Now just notice we will be doing it different ways and what are the results of it. Okay, so let's go out, execute it, passing list wells. So we got an error, we did not put a quote.
Sir, I
Column.
think bracket will not.
No, no, no.
Bracket will.
There is a colon is required once you are giving the def my function. So a colon is needed over here.
Sir, I think sir, gap will not consider, sir.
Oh,
Food function, that is food function, gap will not consider.
no, no, no,
Is
no, 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 the gap is not the case. This spelling is mistake.
yes, fraction over fraction. My function.
Because you can always see the error, right? The error
Yes,
itself
sir.
is right. Traceback my function it could not find. Right?
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, sir.
So do now.
Yes, sir. Now it's working.
Okay. So this is executing. So what it did, let's review the code, what we wrote. And so basically we have supplied, we have supplied this fruits list over here. Fruits is passed here. Now it is a list. What food is? Food is a list. And I'm running a loop on the list for x in food, print x, right? So this can be, you can take some real life examples, like for example, if you have to send email to all your friends for your birthday invitation, right? So what you can do, let's say you have the email address of all your friends here, okay, in the list of friends, and then you have to send an email to each one of them. So you can write a similar code and say for X in mailing list, okay, send mail to so and so, send mail to so and so, send mail to so and so. So means basically you're writing send mail to, and the body of the email and whatever the method is there to send the email, and then it will keep on executing the same code again and again and send email to all your friends in just one click, right? So some you should always, once we do these practicals over here, some examples over there, some exercises are done, these are some basic fundamentals, okay, so you understand the concept, but you should always try to correlate it with your day-to-day life problems and see how can some real life problem be solved using it. Some of the problems from your curriculum can be solved, some of the problems, mathematical problems, any, okay, it could be your some other daily life routine problems where you have to do some repetitive work. If that can be simplified, you must look forward to that, okay, and try to solve those problems here. Okay, so in this case we just did what, we just simply passed a list. But what if, let's see another example. I'll copy this and make a duplicate of this. I want to make a duplicate copy. One dot five. Okay, let me modify this. And this time I'm going to pass, if I do it as asterisk, what will happen? Would there be a different outcome this time? Anybody wants to answer me? What will
I
happen?
think it will be a different outcome.
Why? And
Mm,
What?
what the different outcome will be? Let's see. Never mind. So we do Python. What happened? Earlier we were getting apple, banana, cherry. Okay. We were getting apple, banana, cherry separately. These three, this is how we were getting the result. This time I'm getting apple, banana, cherry as a list. While the code, I just made a slight change. I only did, this is the code and this is the outcome. I hope you can correlate. So what is happening in this case? What this means, asterisk food over here in the function. This is like we mean like we have a
Multiple arguments.
multiple arguments. So what it is doing when I'm passing fruits, it is treating it to be one of the arguments.
Yes, sir.
So it is treating it as a list. And what is the code I'm writing? The code I'm writing is for X in food. Means whatever is food. Food is basically a collection, right? A tuple, right? So it's a tuple. Within that tuple, it is executing. And what it finds, it is finding the first element as the list, fruits. And that's what the entire list it is printing, not the three values. Okay. Now, if on the X you run another loop, you can do a nested loop here, and then you can print individual values. If I do over here, let's say for X in food, I got a list now. I know X is a list. So here I can say for Y in X. So X itself is a list, and for Y in X, I want to print Y. What will happen now? Now it will have the same outcome as the previous one. So if I say Python, apple, banana, cherry. So what exactly I did? We made a small change here. Let me clear the screen and show you again. Let me know if this is getting clear to you guys. Okay, give me thumbs up if you are understanding this one, because I want you to understand the concept. This is very important. The difference in the two. Okay, why it was showing the list? Earlier we were showing the list because we passed one, it treated it as first argument of the tuple, a tuple with a single argument, and that is fruits list. Entire list is being sent over there, not three values. Okay, and or not just as a list, means that is just a tuple. So basically what it is doing, it is considering it like this, a tuple with a list, right? The list of values. So apple, banana, cherry. Okay, cherry. So this is a tuple that is received there. Okay, and then when you are doing the first loop, X for X in food, so it goes inside this tuple and says first element. What is the first element? It's a list. So it finds the list for X in food. So what is X? X is this entire list is X. And then within this, I'm doing, because I need to access the individual elements over there. So I'm doing for another loop I'm doing, which is the example of a nested loop here. So loop within a loop, right? So for X in food, then for now for this X value, I want to execute for Y in X. And what I'm doing means for each element. Okay, I can use anything here. Instead of Y, I can say fruit in X. I can say that too, or I can use any other name. Okay, for data in X or element in X, whatever you want to call it, right? And then I want to print this Y. Okay, so now it is going through within this list. It will go through apple, banana, and cherry, and that's how it is printing it over here. Okay, now let's see an example of the dictionary. Okay, how that would work. Vi dict arts dot py. So I will write a function def my function, and this function I want to have, I'm passing something, right? Let's say my dict for dictionary, right? And here I want to print my dict. And let's see, here I am taking a some student. Okay, dictionary I am taking, name as Angel. Okay, city as Delhi. Okay, so this is a dictionary we are passing. Now if I call my func with this dictionary student. Let's see what should happen. So we say Python dictargs. So what did it do? It just printed the entire dictionary that I passed. So in this case, nothing uh, like very different, right? So we had a simple code. So we are passing a dictionary. So just entire dictionary is being passed over there, and that is being printed to you. So cat dict args. In this case, we just did that. However, if I modify this, so let me modify this code dict args to dict args 1.py. Let me copy it, and I will make a slight change in this code dict args 1.py. I'm going to make it, let's say over here, I can pass, let's say I'm having here name, it's 8 o'clock, city. Okay. Now here, if I do the values of student, then what will happen? Name will go there and city will go. Okay. This can be anything. Okay. I can call it name arg if you want. It can be just name arg and city arg. Okay. So the value of name will be copied to name arg, and value of city will be passed to city arg. So let's check. Over here, I have to print name arg, let's say name arg. Okay. And here I want to print the value of name arg, and I put an F, and I want to print city arg, city arg, and Python dict arg1, some error, comma, I think we have not placed. We forgot to place a comma here. Now what's happening? Okay, my function got an unexpected keyword argument name. Okay. And we are having here, because it is, we are passing it as a keyworded argument. Okay. So it has to be the same actually. So Python name arg. Okay. Because we changed the name. So here we have to change it to name city All right. So what happened now? This code was there. Dict args 1.py, and in this we have name city. Okay, so we are passing this dictionary, the values of this dictionary. Okay, so name gets mapped into name and city gets mapped into cities. The value like Angel and Delhi are passed over here, and then this name equals name and city equals city we are able to print over here. So this is how we are passing the values of a list of a dictionary into this function. Okay, making sense? Give me thumbs up if you understood. If any query, please ask. Okay, Angel, Janvi, Prachi, are you good? All right, great. Let's quickly jump onto the new slides for today. We'll try to finish.
So you send it any assignment, sir?
Sorry.
So you send it any assignment related to these topics? What
Uh,
you have covered in these
no,
classes in last?
yeah, last time I had, I think there was one assignment. There has been no new assignment lately. Okay, in the last class, there was no new assignment. Okay,
Oh,
but there are
okay.
uh, code examples on these slides. These you should execute. Okay.
So the problem is that ki I want when I make a program, na,
Mhm.
sometimes I don't know how to use the logic
How to use
and
the logic.
how to make. Sometimes I stuck when I make any program.
So
Sometimes.
like what kind of programs you are trying to make?
सर लाइक जैसे अभी तो मैंने स्टार्ट नहीं किया है जैसे तो
Mhm.
जैसे कई बार मैं जैसे लिस्ट का प्रोग्राम बना रही हूँ तो उसमें या तो कुछ प्री डिफाइंड फंक्शंस हैं जिनसे हम कर सकते हैं बट मैं प्री डिफाइंड फंक्शंस को यूज ना करके मैं अपना फंक्शन बनाकर करना चाह रही हूँ तो वहां मैं कभी कभी स्टक हो जाती हूँ तो
देखिए,
उस चीज का मैं पूछ
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मीन्स कोडिंग करने के मल्टीपल वेज हो सकते हैं. ठीक है.
यस सर
If you're writing a code, you may
यस
use multiple different approaches over
यस
there.
सर यस सर
Okay.
यस
As you mentioned, like there could be some existing functions and you may write your own function too. Yes, you can do that, but it may be efficient to use those functions because it is out of the box available. However,
यस
you can always write your own code. And for writing the code, there are some basic constructs which we have
यस
already learned, like if else statement, if else elif, the loops. Okay.
यस
Okay, we are learning about lists, tuples. Okay, we are
यस
dictionaries. These are for storing the data, data structures, how we are storing the data. So using these concepts are not uh, any different, right? So any
यस
program will be formed using whatever we are learning. Okay,
यस
the programs may be large or small. These will be solved using what you have learned so far.
learn
Okay,
yes sir.
what we are going to learn ahead. Okay,
Yes sir.
so writing an algorithm, that's a skill that you build over a period of time.
Okay. Through
Okay.
algorithm, we can improve these.
Yeah, algorithms, you have to learn how to prepare the algorithm, what steps you are going to solve a problem. If you can manually solve a problem, then you will be able to solve the problem through the code. Okay, so first of all, you should make in your mind, you should write down the steps. What are the steps to solve this problem, how I'm going to do it. Then you can break it up in whether you will be using a function, whether you will be using a recursive function there, whether you will be using a for loop or while loop. Then you try to apply. पहले plain English में normal आप अगर को उसको problem को solve करना है, if there is some problem, okay,
Yes.
so how will you do it? अगर आपको manually करना है, Python भूल जाओ, ठीक है,
Mm.
initially. So if you have to solve this problem, how will you solve it?
Yes. Sir.
Once you are able to articulate your problem and you articulate the solution, how you are going to do that, now you see in those different steps where you are going to fit in various data structures, where are you going to fit in various programming constructs like branching, okay,
Yes.
conditionals, loops, etc. Okay, recursive functions, etc. Those, then you see what fits where, and then you try to put it all together. Okay, so that's how, depending on problem to problem. Okay, there is no shortcut to this? It comes by experience. More and more coding you do, more and more problems you solve, more and more you will learn. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Watching the slides, you may not learn. That's why I'm requesting everyone, you must do code. Okay. Once you do the coding, then you will get the problems.
Okay, sir. I will try. Uh,
So these examples are given here. Just first of all, try to reiterate them and understand the why these are written over here. Okay. Try to make all these examples what are given in the slides. These are to clear some concepts for you. Okay. For example, now the list we are talking about, a list, we have seen the list of fruits, for example, right? The same you can keep in mind and then think around it. Okay. So first of all, uh, working with lists and tuples. So what is the difference in lists and tuples? Okay. So lists are ordered. Okay. Mutable means something that can change. So you can add elements to the list, you can remove elements from the list. Okay, you can do all those operations. Okay, however, and you can, it allows duplicates too. You can have duplicate values in it, list, right? In tuples, these are ordered, but these are immutable. Means once a tuple is formed, you cannot modify a tuple. Okay, so it's more like a constant. Okay, so you can form it once and then use it throughout the program. You will not be able to change the values in a tuple. Okay, it also allows duplicates. Okay, duplicate values in it. You can access elements by index and slicing. Common operations are concatenation, repetition, okay, membership testing, and iteration. Membership testing means whether an element is contained in the list or not. Okay, for example, there are n number of students today in the list, and then I want to search if a particular student is part of that list. So that kind of operations. Built-in functions are there to get the length, len, min, max, and sum. आपको एक, if you have a list of numbers, for example, so you want to find the min value, minimum value, the maximum value, or the sum of the values, there are some ready-made functions for that. Okay. However, as you said, Prachi, you want to write your own code, so you can achieve the same. Okay, if you don't want to use this sum function, you can achieve the sum of a list writing your own logic using your own for, if, else, while loop, etc. You can achieve the same logic, same results that you will get through these functions. Okay, all of these,
okay.
you can write your own code. List methods: append. On the list, you can use methods like append, insert, remove. As I told you, because these are mutable, so you can modify a list. Okay, pop,
Yes.
sort, reverse. We have seen these methods in past also. Okay, some of these examples, right? We will do more examples. Okay, you can, maybe in tomorrow's class, next class, we can look at some of these examples. You guys try to do this. Okay, what these different methods are: append, to add a new element to the list. Okay,
At the
insert,
end of the list.
insert somewhere in the middle of the list, you want to insert a value. Remove,
Yes.
you want to remove a particular element.
Any
Pop,
from any place.
pop, sort, in reverse. Okay, these are
Yes.
different methods that you can use, right? And in tuple, only two methods are there: count and index. Because you cannot do append, insert, remove, all these things cannot be done in a tuple because you cannot modify, right? So all these are available on the list only. On the tuple, you can count how many values are there, and you can get a value at a particular index. So here are some examples of creating lists. So first of all, creating the lists, we use the square brackets for the list. So like this, square brackets, we call them square brackets. So 1, 2, 3, hello, this is a list. Accessing elements in the list using the indexing. So you can use indexes, like the first element is the 0th element, second element, third element, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is the indexing. So you can identify the index of the element you want to access, and then retrieve it using the by putting the index in square brackets. Or you can also do slicing, as we discussed earlier. So you can do like my list within square brackets. You can start and the last index 1, 2, 3. So you will get 0, 1, 2 element. Over here you have modifying lists. Use assignment, my list 0, 42. So some methods are here. So for modifying the lists, as I told you already in the previous slide also. Iterating over lists, this is one operation that you can perform on lists. So iteration means you want to access elements, each element of the list, and you want to do some operation on that element. Okay, so use a for loop to process each element. You can do list comprehension. So create lists concisely using single line expressions. We already discussed it in yesterday's class, so you can look at the previous day slides, day 6. Let's understand the tuples. So tuples are ordered immutable data structures. These are enclosed in parentheses instead of the square brackets. And the lists are in square brackets, but tuples use parentheses and separated by commas. Okay, can contain any data type, including nested tuples. So a tuple within a tuple can also be possible. Okay, useful for grouping related data that should not change. Okay, so it is important that tuple, whatever you're including, you will not be able to modify it. Okay, if you want to modify it, then rather use a list over there. Access elements using indexes just like the lists. Okay, common operations: indexing, slicing, concatenation, membership, testing, and iteration. Okay, len, min, max, sum, all these you can do. However, you don't have here append, remove. All those methods are not there, which are available for the lists. Some real world examples of lists let's think of. Okay, just to so that you can correlate with the real life problems where you can apply the lists. Where should you use lists? Where should you use tuples? So real world examples could be storing and organizing collections of data. Okay, such as student names, shopping lists, inventory. Okay, all these different use cases you can apply the lists. Implementing stacks, queues, decks, maybe you guys don't know some of them. Okay, these are different data structures. uh, uh, Stacks, queues, decks, Prachi, you might be aware of that. However,
What, sir?
I hope you are familiar with stacks, queues, decks. Are you?
Sir, Dex. So I don't know, but stack queues is a part of data structure.
Right, right. Decks are also there. Okay, so that is also a data structure. Okay, so storing the data, we will discuss maybe in the next class. Remind me, okay, about the stack.
Okay.
We will quickly take it up. Okay, presenting and manipulating matrices. Okay, so matrices are when you arrange the numbers in like rows and columns. Okay, so
Yes, sir. Sometimes we have to transpose row
right,
into columns.
so something you do, like you can write values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. So this is kind of a matrix. So I'm arranging the data in rows and columns, so that is known as a matrix. Okay, so matrices we are talking about. Storing and managing game state. If you are building a game application, then you can store the state of the game in the lists. Okay. And developing some machine learning models that involve sequential data or collections of features, little bit advanced. But when the machine learning models are built, okay, built, so there also you can use lists. Okay. So there are some practical use cases of using lists. Okay. And similarly for tuples, where should we use tuples? So for example, you want to store location of a person, location of some place, person. Okay. So like storing coordinates, latitude and longitude, you can put them in a tuple, right? So only one time, once you have assigned, you are not going to modify that, right? Let long. Same way, representing dates, somebody's birthday, anniversary, as long as you know, so that is not going to change ever. Okay, it will always remain the same. So you can use for that purpose a tuple like year, month, and day. Returning multiple values from a function. If within a from a function, if you are computing a single value, you can simply do return that variable name, whatever, or the value you are computed. If you want to return more than one values from a function, you can prepare a tuple and then return it. Swapping values between variables. Okay. Like you want to change the values between the two variables, you can use tuples for that purpose also. And storing the configuration settings that shouldn't be changed. So something one time, anything that you are not going to change in future, that type of information you can use tuples for. Lists, we have already seen this. So you can perform different operations. So lists use square brackets separated by commas, access elements using indexing, modify lists using assignment, append, all these operations. Iterate over lists using a for loop, and create lists concisely using list comprehension. We have seen earlier also. List operations, we have seen creating lists. So you can simply do the assignment to a variable like my list equals 1 2 3 hello, whatever you want to do in the square brackets. Accessing elements, you can use the indexes within square brackets. Okay. Modifying lists, you can use append, insert, remove, and pop methods. Try to perform some of these operations in your own examples. Okay. Iterate over lists, you can use a for loop. We have seen many times how we are iterating, just like we did in on the list of fruits. We were printing all the fruits one by one. List comprehension, we have seen in yesterday's class how to use the list comprehensions. List slicing, we have seen, so we can specify the start and the step. So we can take a part of the list. If it is a large list, out of the large list we want to extract a smaller portion of it, that we can do through slicing. The start index is inclusive, the end index is exclusive. So if we are writing 1 2 3, for example, so 1 column 3, then it will be including the starting index, but the end index is exclusive, we don't include that. Okay. So for example, if we are writing so if we are writing, let's say, a list, five, and if I say I want to do the slicing of this, so my list, and if I do slicing 1 comma 1 column 3, right? So what will happen? It will include the index 1, okay, but it will not include 3. So it will show 2 3, it will return. And steps define the increment. Default is 1 between elements. default is 1. If you define the step, you want to skip some elements once you are slicing. If you want to skip the elements, and so then you can specify the step also, like step 2, step 3, that you can do. These are certain methods, list methods in Python: append, insert, remove, pop, clear, and definition of each one of them is defined over here. So append adds an element to the end of the list. Insert inserts an element at a specified index. Removes the first occurrence of a specified element. Pop removes the and returns the element at a specified index. Okay, default is the last. Clear removes all elements from the list. Index returns the index of the first occurrence of a specified element, and count returns the number of occurrences of an element. We will see some examples of it in the next class. Tuples. So we already discussed that. So tuples, we use parentheses. These are comma separated. Accessing is the same way, just like lists, we can use indexes starting from 0. Okay. Tuples can also, we can do the slicing like 1 column 3. So as we did earlier. Immutable tuples cannot be modified after creation. Built-in functions, len, min, max. Only thing, anything related to modification will not be possible. And you can concatenate two tuples. Okay. So if you want to combine tuples using, you can use the plus operator. So like tuple 1 and tuple 2, if let's say tuple 1 is 1 comma 2. Yeah. So if let's say we are saying tuple 1 is equal to 1 comma 2, and tuple 2 is equal to 4, 5, 6, 7. Then if I do tuple 1 plus tuple 2, tuple 3, if I want to do, is equal to tuple 1 plus tuple 2. So what it will be? It will be providing you tuple 3 will be, it will be 1 comma 2 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7. So we will be able to concatenate using the plus sign on tuples. Okay. And tuple methods. Count method returns the number of occurrences of a specified value. So if there is a tuple, you want to find out how many times a value occurs in the tuple, that you can find using the count. And index, it returns the index of the first occurrence of a specified value. Suppose there is a tuple and you are searching in that tuple, let's say there are names of students and you are searching name of a particular student, then it will give you the first occurrence of that particular value that you are searching. Okay. This is the count and index. It is saying returns the number of times apple appears in this particular tuple, my tuple dot count apple. So you want to count how many times apple occurs in that tuple, and here you want to find out the index. Returns the index of the first occurrence of banana in this case. Tuple methods. Count returns the number of times the value occurs, and index value returns the index of the first occurrence of a value. So this is all for today. Okay. Mainly you should be trying to create a tuple and create a list. All you have to do is try different methods that are provided over here, and let's discuss them in the next class. Okay, what if there is any challenge out of them? I think these are self-explanatory. Append means adding an element to the end of the list. Insert means you want to insert an element at a specified position, a specified index within the list. Remove, you want to remove the first occurrence of a specified element. You can search and replace kind of. Okay. Pop means you want to remove and return the element at the specified index, which is usually it is the last index. So means if you just say pop a list name dot pop, then it is going to return you the last element of that list. Okay, and remove that too. Okay, clear removes the all the elements from the list. Index returns the index of the first occurrence of a specified element. Count returns the number of occurrences of an element. So that's it for today. Any questions about whatever we discussed? Something you might not be clear about? Go through these slides and we can take up your queries in the next session. Okay, if any. And you can always, get a clarification if needed within the group also. Okay. All right, so let's end today's session. No questions, then we will end up the this session, and let's connect this Wednesday, okay, for the next session. Uh, First 15 minutes, we will try to uh, go through some examples, what
Yes.
exactly work you did, okay, any
Yes, sir.
queries, and I would again request at least watch the slides, okay,
Sure.
quickly. Slides will give you a top level idea. You can
Yes, sir.
then take go through specific sections in the recording, and then because watching the entire recording, if you don't have a shortage of time, then at least go through specific sections and understand the discussion about those. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, let's connect this Wednesday, and we will discuss the next topic. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.